Hey y'all, hey, what is up? I promised y'all that I was going to be live at 8 o'clock p.m. and here I am. I am live at 8 o'clock p.m. ready to talk all things numerology, tarot, astrology with you. If you don't know me, my name is Muffy Mendoza and I am your astro coach. I'm here to align with the people who align with me. So if this is not your jam, that is perfectly fine. I send you lights and love and good vibration. Move on. But if it is, if you are in the space, if you are in the place and in the space and you want to learn more about astrology, numerology, tarot, yoga, anything that I am learning about spiritually, energetically, I am going to teach you. This is not a broadcast where you can come and get your personal reading, but it is a broadcast where you can be empowered to use these tools for yourself. What I love to tell people about numerology, astrology, and the tarot is that these are not replacements for the God in your life. They cannot be God. They are not God, but they are tools to help you understand this human / spiritual experience that we are having. And so I'm really excited to share that with you today. Today, we are going to be talking about what your soul wants you to focus on this year and how you can use numerology, astrology, and the tarot, but specifically numerology and the tarot to figure that out. So it is March. It is the month of intention. March is the month of a verb. It is the only month that is actually in a verb that commands us to make movement on our lives and commands us to take action. And so my question to you is, it is March. What have you accomplished for yourself? What have you done to reach your goals? What have you done to get to your milestones? And if the answer to that is you haven't done anything or you haven't done as much as you want to do, then it is very likely that you have some clarity issues. You need to get clarity on what it is that you want to do so that you can close the knowledge action gap and actually do something about it. Because most people are operating in a knowledge gap or a knowledge action gap, and that's the reason why they're not taking action on their goals, meaning they know a whole lot or they don't feel like they know a whole lot. And so because they don't have that knowledge, they're not taking action on their goals. And a lot of times that's because you're not asking yourself the right questions. And from those questions, you're not giving yourself the right information to be able to get the confidence to actually do it, to do the thing. And so what we're going to be talking about tonight is your personal year number. In numerology, there is a way to calculate your personal year number to be able to tell you this is what I'm supposed to be focusing on this year. So I'll give you an example. I am in a 3-year this year, and a 3-year is all about creativity and self-expression. It's about joy. It's about finding the joy in your present situation, no matter where you are. And so when one of my colleagues and girlfriends came to me and said, I'm doing a 30-day challenge to do live videos, I was like, that is in alignment with a 3-year, because a 3-year is all about self-expression and identity and spreading seeds. And so I was like, yes, that will align with what I feel in the month of March, in the 3-year, in the 3-month, in my 3-year. And so I'm going to tell you right now how to calculate your personal year number. And then I'm going to break down each personal year number and I'm going to tell you what it means. And then I'm going to help you figure out where you are on the journey using the tarot cards. And as I've said before, like I said earlier in the video, these are tools that you can utilize to help you understand your human spirit experience. This is not God. Tarot cannot be God. Astrology cannot be God. Numerology cannot be God. But these are all tools that you can use here, having this human experience to understand the experience that you are having. And so let's get started. Here we go. And so I'm going to put a little banner. I'm going to create a banner for you guys to be able to show you how to calculate your astro number. So for example, I'm just going to put a birth date out there. The way you calculate, first I'm going to tell you and then I'm going to show you. So the way you calculate is you use your month, the day you were born, and the current year. So let's all just be in remembrance that 2025 breaks down to the number 9. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. Or should I say it adds up? It adds up to the number 9. So anytime we see 2025, we are putting in the number 9. So let's say you were born on May 5th, whatever year. You are going to put in 5, 5 plus 9. So you're going to put in 5 plus 5 plus 9. So I'm going to put that in the banner. So if you were born on May 5th, doesn't matter the year, you're going to add that to 2025. And so that's going to look like 5 plus 5 plus 9. And that's going to equal, let's see, 10, 19. And then you're going to add 1 plus 9 from the 19, and then you're going to get 10. And then you're going to add 1 plus 0, which is going to give you 1. So that would mean you are in a personal year of 1. So I'm going to put that down. So I'm going to put that up on the screen. So 5 plus 5, if you were born on May 5th, it would be 5 plus 5 plus 9, because 2025 adds up to the number 9. And then from there, you would get 19. And then you would go 1 plus 9 would equal 10. And from there, you would go 1 plus 0 would equal 1. So I'm going to add that banner on the screen so y'all can see it. Because what you're always trying to do, let's not scroll it across the bottom. No, we don't want it to be a ticker. What you're always trying to do is you're always trying to get to one number. So you're always trying to get to one number. So if you were born on May 5th, if you were born on May 5th, we're not even thinking about the year. It will be 5 plus 5, and then you'd add the number 9, because 2025 equals 9. And then that's how you would get it. Now, let's say you were born on May 15th. So then if you were born on May 15, remember, you were always trying to get to one number. So 15, 1 plus 5 equals what? It equals 6. So that means you would be going 5 plus 6 plus 9. 5 plus 6 plus 9. And then you would be getting the addition from that, and then you keep adding until you get one number. So I'm going to put that up for you guys to see. So let's say you were born again on May 15th. You would go May 15th, which would be 5 plus 6, because 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 9. So it would be 5 plus 6 plus 9. And from there, you would get the number 20. And then you would go 2 plus 0. 2 plus 0 equals 2. And so then your personal year number would be the number 2. So I want to show that to you. So if you have a double digit, if you're like me and you have a double digit birthday, you would add those two digits together. So you would add the month in the same thing if you had a double digit month. So if you have a double digit month for your birthday, so let's say you're born in December, you'd add 1 plus 2. So instead of having a single digit, you'd have 1 plus 2, which is December. And let's say you were born on the 2nd, it would be 3 plus 2 plus 9. So let me know if that makes sense for you. And if it doesn't, you can say something in the comments. I can see your comments and I can tell you, whatever you need to know. All right. So now that we know what number you have, what number is your what number is your personal year number, now we can go ahead and we can calculate what personal year you are actually in. So once you get those numbers, we're going to calculate what is your personal year number. You're going to calculate it. So you can put it for me in the comments. I'm about to go on here on the video so I can see if anybody. All right. Delilah says she is a 2. Great, Delilah. Thank you. So put your numbers in the comments. And if I see your number in the comments, what I'll actually do is I'll go ahead and I will center in on your number. So the first 3 people to put their numbers in the comments, I will actually focus on your number. The other ones, I'm just going to go through them real quick. So again, what does the personal year number do for us? It tells you what you should be focused on that year and what is out of alignment. So for example, I'm in a 3-year. Things I'm not going to do this year. I'm not going to stall. Because in the 3-year, you're supposed to take action. 3 is a number of action. It is a number of spreading many, many, many seeds and seeing what comes up, which is why I'm on here, because I've always wanted to do this. And I was like, this is the year I'm going to do it. And maybe it'll go somewhere. Maybe it won't. We'll see what happens. But I'm damn sure going to try it out because I'm in a 3-year and this is the best time for me to throw it out. This is the best time for me to throw it out. And if it actually sprouts a seed or sprouts a plant, I'll know. So this is the best time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and focus on Delilah's number 2 year. So 2 is actually in alignment with the High Priestess. So I'm going to show you the High Priestess card. I'm sure you've probably seen it before. If you haven't, I'm going to show you. And I'm using the Light Seers deck because this is one of my favorite decks. Where is my High Priestess card? But let me just go through it, and then when I find the card, I'll give it to you. But in a 2 year is really a year where you really want to focus on relationships, partnerships, collaboration, and soul searching. It's a great time for reflection. It is not a time to take action. In a 2 year, so this is the High Priestess card, just to show it to you. And as you can see, she's like chilling. She's serene. She's getting in touch with her emotions. She is seeing her spiritual side of her life. She is not running amok. Okay. And so in a 2 year, you really kind of want to focus on just that. You want to get clear on what it is you want to manifest in your 3 year. You want to start planting those seeds by planning, but you don't actually want to plan any action. And let me tell you, as a person who is a 5 life path, and I love to take action, I am a doer. I tried to plan shit in my 2 year, and all that shit went bad. Even the shit that went good went bad. So I'm just letting you know. In a 2 year, Delilah, you should not be planning stuff. Like you should be, you should not be doing stuff. You should be planning things. You should be seeking out partners and collaborators. You should be assisting people. This is a time when you should get your volunteer on. Like if you know somebody that has a mission that is similar to yours, or that you just want to, you just want to support it, go do that. But in a 2 year, this is not the year for action. And any actions that you do take, it will succeed by the skin of your teeth. So I will tell you that. But I'm going to go back to the 1 year. All I do is take, girl, girl, girl. You talking to me? You talking to me? We are one. She is her. Because all I like to do is take action too. But I'm telling you, I did it last year, and I'm a person who doesn't have 2 years. I have 11 years. So last year I tried, and I'm not talking about that. We're going to talk about that another day, the master numbers. But I have 11 years, and I tried to take action last year. And that was probably one of the worst years for me taking action ever in my life. And it's not that things weren't successful, because I actually had a few things that were successful. But it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good at all. And I wish I would never have done it. So that's the best advice I can give you. But yeah, collaborating, Delilah, absolutely. Like do all the collaborating you possibly can, supporting other people. But this is a time for you to plan. And the good thing about having a 2 year and planning in a 2 year is like you'll get all the spiritual downloads. Like you will have the dreams. People will come into your realm to help you and support you. Like it's like almost like you'll be lining things up to get ready to just kaboom in your 3rd year. Because 3 years should technically, well, not technically, because it just depends on where you are in your life path. But in 3 years, you should have like success. But it's also a great time for you to put yourself out there. So those collaborations that you start to plan out in your 2 year, in 3 year, they should start to sprout and just give you some beautiful, beautiful flowers from that. But a 2 year is just not a time to actually take action. If something comes to you and it feels organic and it feels like, oh, this is meant to be, that's one thing. But for you to be pushing, this is not a time for pushing. This is a time for inviting. 2 years are a time for inviting. Yes, so absolutely, Delilah, plan for next year. That's what I would be doing if I was you in a 2 year. I'll be planning for next year. So let's go swing it back to a 1 year. So I want to go through all of them so that if somebody is, on here or they watch it later and they're in a different year. So if you're in a 1 year, if you are in a 1 year, this is absolutely a time for new beginnings, for action, to seek out the people. 1 years are just really great years for starting something new, and also for letting go of what was, because the thing about a 1 year is that it comes right after a 9 year. And so oftentimes in a 1 year, you're going to feel like there's lots of action to be taken, and that you want to take action, but there also may be some things that are left over from just, you're welcome, Delilah. There may also be some things left over from your non-endings that you're still hurting from. But this is really a time when you are in a 1 year to just be the Fool. So the Fool is the first card in the Major Arcana, is the first card in the tarot deck, and it is a Major Arcana card. And with the Fool, when you see the Fool, it's a sign to just take a leap of faith. Like this is the time for you to go ahead, put on your life vest and jump in the water, even though you cannot swim. When you are in a 1 year, you really, really, really want to trust that source energy, God, universe, whatever you call it, is is here for you and is going to catch you. So if you are in a 1 year, go ahead and take the leap of faith. Go ahead and trust that it's going to be okay, especially if you have a gut feeling and spirit is really just telling you, like, go ahead and do it, because it's likely going to pay off. And especially if it's something you've been thinking about for a long time. So I would say if you are in a 1 year right now, go ahead and be the fool. Because the thing about the major arcana cards in the tarot deck is they're telling you about long-standing energies. Like when we see the other court cards as tarot readers, we know that this is temporary, this is situational. But the major arcana cards are always telling us about energies that are here for us, that are here to support us, but are also things that we kind of have to work through. So if you're in a 1 year, I really say go ahead and, just go ahead and be one with the new thing. Let the new beginning happen. If you are in a 3 year, then like me, we're in the same year. If you're in a 3 year, you're in a year with me. It actually almost takes on a foolish energy, but it's also about birthing. I have been thinking about sharing tarot, astrology, numerology for at least a decade now, for a long time, because this is the work that I love to do. And if I could only tell y'all how I've used all of these modalities to be successful, like I literally don't do things on days that don't add up to my personal numbers. Like for me, all of this is more of a worldview than it is, you know, it's how I view the world. Like I use these tools in my everyday life to make decisions, to help me to know what's right for me, to recognize patterns and archetypes in people, to know what people are good for me and what aren't good for me. But if you are in a 3 year like me, you are under the Empress energy. And so the Empress energy is all about birthing. It is about gestation. It is about self-expression. It is about creativity. And if you know anything about the chakra system, you know creativity is it is highly associated with the root chakra, or with the sacral chakra, which is our wombs, and which is where we create, which is where we give birth at, and all of those things. So when you're in a 3 year, you really want to think about birth. You want to think about your creations and the things you want to give to the world, and do that. Like, go ahead and do it. Because in a 3 year, all of those things are not necessarily meant to stay in your life, but what they are meant for is they're meant for you to learn from them, and they're meant for you to get it all out, so that in a 4 year, when you're going to be called to build a foundation, you've gotten it all out. You've expressed yourself. You've met some new people, because 3 years are great for like meeting new people, going to all the networking events. Like this year so far, it's only March, and I've booked like 4 speaking gigs to go to different states. So that was par for the course. That was par for the course for being in a 3 year. You're going to be called to speak. You're going to be called to express yourself. You're going to be called to do all of the things, because you're in a 3 year, and that's what the number 3 is the communicator, is the expressor, is the creator. So if you're in a 3 year, you're going to the Empress energy. If you are in a 4 year, 4 year is all about foundation. It's all about structure. So after you come out of that 3 year, in a 4 year, you are going to be charged with building structure and foundation in it. So by the end of the 3 year, you'll have gotten it all out. You will have decided, oh, I'm going to move forward with this. I'm not going to move forward with that. And in your 4 year, you're actually going to be resonating with the Emperor energy. Now, the Emperor energy is all about building structure and foundation. You can see him. He is sitting on Mars, because he is heavily associated with the planet Mars, and which is heavily associated with the planet Saturn, which is all about creating structure, creating systems. It's all about, foundation. And so in a 4 year, you're really going to be called to back that thing up. Back that thing up and make sure that the seeds that you planted in the 3rd year, you ever plant a tomato plant, and then when it start coming up, them leaves start falling over, well, you're supposed to be building the trellis to keep them up. And so in a 4 year, that's what you want to do. You want to be the emperor. You want to stand firm and say, all right, this is what we're building. We are still communicating like we are in a 3 year, but we are acting like we are in a 4 year. We are building the systems. We are making sure that the kids have a ride to practice. We're not just finding them a basketball team. We're actually going to basketball games. We're making sure they they have their uniform, all those types of things. So if you're in a 4-year, this is all about structure. This is all about foundation. This is all about building. It is the year of manifestation and building. If you are in a 5-year, and the interesting thing about the 5-year card is it is the Hierophant, which is almost, unless you a life path 5 and you learned it the way I learned it, because as a life path 5, I didn't learn that freedom ain't what you think it is. It is not what it is, what you think it is. So let me find the Hierophant card, which is one of the cutest cards in this deck that I love, even though I don't like when I see it in a reading for myself, because it means that I'm going to get freedom, but I'm going to get freedom through responsibility. Let me find it. So I'll just start telling y'all while I'm looking for it. The 5-year is all about freedom. It's all about adventure. It's all about travel. In your 5-year, you're likely going to find yourself going to a place. But the most interesting thing about the 5 number is it sits in the middle of all the numbers. So if you look at the numbers, the number scale or whatever, from 1 to 9, 5 sits in the middle. So it is literally what I call the gateway number, because energy is always passing through it and out of it, through it and out of it. And so with the 5, what you're actually going to experience is a lot of opportunities for freedom. But oftentimes, just like with this Hierophant, with the traditional Rider-Waite deck with the Hierophant, you are definitely getting like, heavy structure, heavy, like, I'm talking to you, you need to listen, we are staying in alignment. But with this Hierophant, he looks a little bit more joyful, which to me is in better alignment with what the 5 number actually means. It's all about freedom, but it is learning freedom through responsibility. And so in a 5-year, you are going to have, like, it's going to feel like you are light as a feather, but there's probably going to be some undertones of things that you have to do to get there. 5s are known for being clairvoyant, which is why I study what I study, is because I'm a dreamer. I am a seer. I am a knower. Like, I have deep knowing sometimes where I know stuff before other people know it. And I don't be knowing how I know. I just know that I know. So with the 5, you're going to have some real opportunities to gain spiritual enlightenment, as well as opportunities for freedom and travel. And it is also, the 5 is the number of higher learning. So you might also be, it's heavily tied to Jupiter. 3 and 5 are heavily tied to Jupiter. But with the 5, you are going to also be tasked with doing some higher learning, learning some things, having some new understandings, maybe meeting some new people from different places other than what you are in. So if you are in a 5-year, get ready for the roller coaster ride, because though you're going to be tasked with, getting some of these things in a responsible manner, you're absolutely going to have the freedom that you are looking for. Now, what about if you are in a 6-year? If you are in a 6-year, it's all about family, responsibility, and nurturing yourself, nurturing the people around you, nurturing the love. So the 6-year is all about love. But a lot of people, when they think of love, they think of romantic love. And when we see the 6, it's not only just about love, but it's about the love we have for humanity as a whole. 6 is finally going over the threshold of the children, because I always say 1 through 5 are your children numbers, and then 6 through 9. Well, I go 1, 2, 3, babies, 4, 5, 6, like young adults, 7, 8, 9, you grown. You better learn. You're going to learn today. So we're at 6, which means we are right in the middle of adolescence. So you're learning how to nurture, you're learning how to take care of. In a 6-year, you're going to be called to be responsible. You may have a loved one who gets sick. You may have somebody that you have to take care of. You may get sick and have to go in and take care of yourself. You might also meet somebody that you like and you want to spend lots of time with. So 6 years can also be years where you find love, but it will definitely be something that needs to be nurtured and taken care of. And so in a 6-year, just get ready to be a lover, and not a fighter. 7 is the most interesting, because to me, 7 is like the weirdo number. Because 7s, I always like to say that 7s is like the iceberg that you don't get to see all of. You only get to see the tip of the 7. because it is constantly on the go, because it is always learning, but it is also always trying to be enlightened. In a 7 year, it's all about reflection. The number seven, I think when you look at it, you get so much from it just looking at the number seven. So it's actually, the seven goes here, here, and here. So it's looking back at all the other numbers and is actually asking you to take a pause and reflect. This seven is the chariot card, which the chariot card usually stands for decisions. Like you might be tasked with making a decision, but it also means that like it's coming in fast. It's coming in. Whatever it is, it's coming in. And with the 7 year, like this is going to be a year of enlightenment. It's going to be a year of learning. It's going to be a year of getting closer to God or whoever you call your spiritual deity. You're going to get closer to that because you're going to have experienced all these things from 1 to 6, from your 1 year to their 6 year. And you're going to stop and reflect and be like, what did I learn? Again, a 7 year is not a year for action. Your years where you don't really want to take action, I would say, are 2 and 7, really. Because even in a 9 year, you could be taking some action, even though it's an ending. But in a 7 year is definitely a year where you want to chill. And in a 6 year too, you kind of don't want to be planning like career stuff in a 6 year because you're going to be tasked with taking care of some family members. I'm telling you, like somebody's going to come up out of the woodworks or you're going to get sick. Somebody's going to need to get taken care of. And if your energies are diverted somewhere else during these years, you will not get what you're supposed to get. And I think that's the most important thing to recognize about these things. When the bottom line for me, at least, because I know better, I have to do better. So because I have this information, if I know I'm in a 2 year and I'm trying to plan a big ass event like I did last year, you're gonna get what you asked for. Because once you know better, you must do better. That's the thing about this information, and that's why it's scary to a lot of people because it makes you highly responsible. It makes you highly accountable for your actions because because you've been gifted to be one of the people who have the information. And once you have the information, you can't say you didn't know because you, in fact, do know. And so when you are in a 7 year, you need to take the time to rest, to reflect. This is a heavy rest year. Again, in a 7 year, you might have some dreams. You also may, like I said, you're going to get closer to your spiritual deity because this is a real opportunity for you to reflect on everything you learned in years 1 through 6. In your 8 year, show me the money. And see, when I was in my 2 year last year, that's why I had such a hard time sitting down because the 8 year is a money year. And last year, our universal year was a number 8. Like this year, we're in a 9 year, but last year we were in an 8 year. So there was money coming in. And when you got money coming in, it is difficult to sit down. But I had to. I needed to. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I just didn't. Um, but in an 8 year, so what's our 8 card? 8. Well, I always forget what the 8 card is. 8 is the strength card. So in an 8 year, it's all about abundance. It's all about abundance. Like you're going to have so many opportunities come to you, money come to you, people come to you, all that type of stuff. But the trick in the 8 year is finding the strength to tame your inner beast. So in the regular Rider Waite deck, there's actually a lion that is being tamed by a woman, but here it's a woman who's half lion and some lamb. And so what you're going to get in an 8 year is in an 8 year, you're going to be tasked with taming the abundance. Like there's going to be a lot of stuff coming towards you, money, opportunities, people, and you're really going to have to learn how to temper your actions. And so that can be kind of difficult to do in an 8 year because it's usually a very positive time in most people's lives when they have an 8 year. Unless, well, let me not say that because in an 8 year, it's also a karmic year. So if you look at the number 8, it's going in and out of itself. So it's like you reap what you sow, as above, so below. So in an 8 year, while there's going to be much energy coming towards you, if you've not reaped good things, if you've not sown good things, you're not going to reap good things. And so you really, again, you have to go inside and really learn how to tame your inner beast. That's going to want to take all of the abundance and give me more abundance. So you have to learn how to do that. And that can be difficult to do. And finally, in a 9 year is the hermit. So a 9 year is the hermit year. So a 9-year is similar to a 7-year, except it's like you've been through it all. Like it's really easy in a 9-year to feel exhausted, to want to isolate yourself. Um, and truth be told, this is where the real enlightenment takes place, because a lot of times in a 9-year, you're almost going to be forced to sit down. Like it is literally a time of rest and reflection and enlightenment. And so that is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be resting. You're supposed to be reading. You're supposed to be letting stuff fly, because in the 9-year, things are going to come to an ending. Relationships are going to end. Business partnerships might come to an end. Businesses themselves, jobs might come to an end. Your kids might move out. Something is ending in a 9-year, and you are going to need the space to not only recharge, but just to reflect and really to understand the journey that you've been on. And so if you are blessed enough to make it to your 9-year, continually make it to 9 cycles, because 9 is the end of a cycle every time, then you really need to take out that time to just sit with yourself. Sit with yourself and understand the lessons and really show gratitude. That is something that's great to do in a 9-year, is to just have the gratitude. Take the time to be grateful for everything that you've learned and all the new understandings that you now have. And so those are all the years. So every 9 years, humans go through a cycle. And during that cycle, you are tasked, if you are among those who are enlightened, you are tasked with this journey of going from the fool to the hermit. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about understanding the tarot and understanding numerology, is you get to actually have um, knowledge about what you're going through and about what you should be centering on during those times. Um, I meet so many people all the time, and I'll talk to them, and I'm like, and they're doing something, and I'm like, that is so out of alignment with where you are right now, energetically and from a spiritual perspective. And they don't even know it. They don't even recognize it, because they haven't taken the time to get the information and to really do the knowledge. Um, and so, yeah, that is it. That is all. I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in learning more about your personal year number and your moon sign, because your moon sign tells you so much about how you're going to experience that year from an emotional perspective and what you need in order to take care of yourself. Because to know your personal year is more to know what you need to do in that year in order to be successful, or not even to be successful, in order to operate as your highest self. But to know your moon sign is to understand how you need to be emotionally nourished. And also, if you're those of you who are out there looking for love, if you don't know your moon sign, then you don't know how you need to you don't necessarily, let me not say you don't know, because you can know these things intuitively. Because some of the things I know intuitively, like I would look at my astrological makeup or my numerology chart or the tarot, and it just affirmed for me things that I already knew. um, but when you know what your moon sign is, it can really help you to understand emotionally what you need in a relationship, but also emotionally what you need on a day-to-day basis to just take care of yourself. So if you don't know these things and you would like to know these things, download your free personal year number and moon sign guide at bit.ly/decode my 2025. And of course, I pinned it up top for y'all so y'all can be able to go and get it. So I will be live again tomorrow. And tomorrow I will be talking about, what is on my list of things to talk about tomorrow? Why do you keep attracting the same types of relationships? That's what I will be talking about. And I will be talking about how to use astrology in order to figure that out. So I hope this was helpful for you. I'm excited to talk to y'all again tomorrow. And yeah, if you want the download, you can download it. If you want to book a reading with me, you can book a reading with me to do a reading reset, a wellness reset. And that is it. That is all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm excited to talk to y'all tomorrow at 8 p.m. and have a great night. Peace.